I always had a very distinctive idea for the editing process, and I had a very clear vision of the film in my head, going back to the storyboard stage and the script writing process. In my mind, there was a clear vision of the film edited. I knew exactly how I wanted it cut, where I wanted scenes placed, how long I wanted scenes there for. So when it came time to actually sit down and start editing the film, I had a very clear idea and vision of how I wanted to do that. There were definitely some challenges and obstacles to overcome in the editing process. Most notably is all of the interior locker scenes. Because we shot Martin on 2 separate days, we spent one day shooting him with the front profile and the side profile, and because we only had one camera really to do that, just because of the confines of the locker, it wouldn't allow for a second camera, we often ended up with a continuity issue in terms of movement. The performances were always the same, but there would be one shot, facing forward where Martin's looking upwards, and the side profile shot will redo again with the same dialogue, but he's looking down, and so that continuity of switching through the scenes didn't often work. Sometimes I just had to abandon that and try to find new shots and scenes where things made sense, but often for me it was always about the performance. I needed to get the best performance and the best takes, so I would try to make that work any way that I can. And a lot of the times I would have to move forward onto the next scenes. And by the time I kept moving throughout the film, whenever I had these little gaps, I would inevitably find that specific scene or movement from head to down that explained that transition. The other difficult scene that posed a lot of problems, funny enough, was the teacher scene. There was just so much footage of Jamie and Mandy, and it was so funny and brilliant that it became such a difficult task of picking and choosing what to include. And I know that I was editing the scene for weeks, and even though the scene is just naturally really funny and the performances are great, there was something missing that I couldn't put my finger on, and weeks I would constantly just be re-editing the scene, making it tighter, restructuring things, adding stuff, removing stuff, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what was missing. And after, I don't know, hours and days of fooling around with the scene, I realized that I didn't have enough of Martin's reactions, and his reactions actually enhanced the humor of the scene because he's that third party witness to this, basically as the audience at home. His reactions is the audience reactions, so that was the key in unlocking the humor in that scene. It's funny, a lot of people will look at the end credits of the film and they'll see visual effects artist and they'll say to me, did you just add that in just because, what the heck, why not? But it's not. In the process of filming the Niners scene, we just had a continuity error. In the Niners scene, there is no bag laying on the floor. Well, as I was editing the film, I was like, this is a huge problem.
So I remember getting a call from Frank while he was in the middle of editing this film, telling me that there was a problem with one of the scenes. So at first I thought, he's just overreacting, until I saw the scene that he was referring to, the missing bag in the Niners scene. Knowing that I had some experience with this, his words were, I don't know, Tom, how, but figure it out. So off I went into the world of film magic.
He did an amazing rotoscoping job on the scene. I'd show people the scene and nobody even knew that there was a bag missing. It was that flawless. Once we had the final edit locked, we moved on to the color grade process.
The process of color grading the locker, we have gone through the offline edit, and then the editor, which is the director, has handed it off to me, and I have taken it into a color grading online software. You can use all kinds of adjustments to the overall color and then to what's also called secondary colors, where you are adjusting specific targeted colors. So the locker was filmed in cine style. The reason you do that is it gives you much more latitude at this stage with the online of being able to color. With this being a comedy, we wanted something lighter and more vibrant. For color grading the locker, there were challenges. It was shot in the interior of a school. You got a lot of lovely mixture of lights of natural daylight, tungsten, fluorescent. Some of the tougher scenes to color correct is actually the opening chase scene, the feet running through the hallway. It's a little tougher to make skinny teenage boy male legs look good. So this is the teacher scene, as it's referred to. This is before the color correction, using the cine style plug-in for the camera. Now, being aware of the cinestyle, that these are the various changes that have to be made to the picture.
Once we brought the footage to Jonas and he began his initial pass of the color, it was literally like the light was being shown to me. You see these rich, vibrant colors, blues and yellows and greens, that it was it just blew me away. His work, his color grading really brought the film to life.